49. Now, my next guest is fundraising for a mobile youth club. Anthony Olasinde from Sheffield is hoping to raise £20,000 for the van, which he plans to use to engage with young people and help them stop getting involved with gangs and crime. Anthony joins me now. What an incredible idea. Where did it come from?
Well, I've done a lot of work in different communities, and all of them were saying that a youth club was necessary, but it's not as simple as just making a youth club. You know, you've got to think about a lot of things, and some communities don't have the resources. So I thought, if I make a mobile youth club and go to their area and prove that the youth club can work, I could work with people within that community and create a permanent youth club, and then I can go into another area.
That's really interesting. I mean, what is the situation with youth clubs? Because I know when I was young, they existed, and then but it's been this kind of perennial issue that they're often the sort of first thing to sort of go, aren't they? When things become hard financially.
Yeah, definitely. When I was younger, there was a lot around in different areas. There was something to do most days, you know, and then as money needed to get cut, it got took from the youth services. And there's not many about. There is a few, but it's not reaching those kids that need to be reached, really.
And there's this difficult period, isn't there, when you're no longer a little kid and you're no longer satisfied with the company of your parents or what have you, and you want to do things, but you're not old enough to do all the exciting, fun things that adults get to do, and you've just got nothing really there for you. And in that time, is that a dangerous time for young people where, you know, influences, they can get, bad influences can happen, and they can get involved in things that really take their life onto a completely different path?
Yeah. Well, for me, that's a very, very vulnerable moment in their life, because as you said, you know, they're too cool for their parents, so they're not really listening to what the parents are saying. They want to be around their friends, so therefore they're out on the streets or just chilling, congregating. But there are people that are adults there that aren't the parents, that are up to badness, that might be drinking and smoking, and they're going to look up to them as, you know, as their kind of role models, and that's how they get involved in criminalities and, you know, just things that can land them in a lot of trouble.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because it's like, at that stage, you are still looking for an adult. You're definitely want to have an adult who can influence you, but you just don't want it to be your parents. And so if it's the wrong kind of adult, and that's where youth clubs and youth projects are brilliant, because it's the right kind of adult who's going to be there influencing your kids.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing that I find a lot of young people are missing out on, that role model. They don't know what one is. They don't know, you know, the impact it should have on their life. So they don't know that they're like idolising this wrong person. So when I do talk to them, I teach them the do's and don'ts of a good role model, and I just get them to like look further forward, not just to be like the person that's on, you know, within their group that's the oldest one, that, you know, that's a bit naughty. You have to look past that. And youth clubs are brilliant, because it's not even the club itself; it's just a safe space. Currently, there's none there. There's not many about, and you'll see it yourself, because you'll go into like certain communities and kids congregate like outside shops, and even though they're not causing no trouble, they are a nuisance. And it's not their fault, because they're not doing nothing too bad. They're just doing kids stuff, which is absolutely fine. However, if you're doing kids stuff in front of a shop when someone's trying to get into a shop, it can worry people, it can make them anxious, it can make them not want to go there, and it looks like you're causing a lot of trouble and you're a trouble causer, and you're looked on very negatively as a group of kids together, when really you're just kids doing kid stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that. We just needed to put them in a safe space where, you know, people won't exploit their vulnerabilities, and they won't get into no trouble that will like have a long-lasting impact on their life.
And it's that thing about space, you know, when you're growing up and you get in that kind of early teenage phase, you need space away from your parents. You need that space to be able to be with your friends and like you say, do actually innocent kids things. But yeah, like you say, when there's lots of kids congregating together, and it's difficult to find that space. Space is expensive. Big houses are expensive. Space, like youth clubs and locations where you can hold them, that costs someone money somewhere, and that's the big problem, isn't it?
Yeah, but money is a major thing. I mean, not. I've took a different route with the youth club because it's inclusive of every youth, no matter, if you're going to get involved in gangs, there'll be someone that can help with like identity, like healthy relationships, mental health, all that kind of stuff. But normally I deal with like gang violence and knife crime. And I don't get funded. I create my own funds to run it. But there are other like charities and stuff that solely rely on funding, and I can see how much they're limited to what they can achieve. And it's the same with a youth club. You can't just rent a building out for 2 weeks. You've got to have like a year-long lease on a building, and if you don't get the funding, then it can't carry on. So I thought if I get the mobile youth club, there's no like, obviously the initial £20,000 what I'm trying to raise is a big chunk of money, but even if that just helps one child, which I'm sure it'll reach 100 if not 1,000 children, that one child will go on to get a job, and 1 year will get 20, or he or she will make £20,000, for 10, 20, 30 years. So just of one kid, they will make, hundreds of thousands of pounds, and it only cost me and the people that help make the money just £20,000. And when you look at it like that, it's hardly anything.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, you pay a little bit of money now, and you actually save yourself so much money in the future. Yeah. Okay, how's a mobile youth club going to work? Because I remember the youth club I used to go to, we had a football table, and there was like sofas and bean bags, and you'd have, I don't know, dandelion and burdock at the snacks and stuff. How's it going to work in a van?
So the van is so we're going to utilise the space really. So obviously, all of the kids cannot go in the youth club at the same time because it's a van, But how we're going to do it is we'll find a place such as a car park where there's shelter anyway, and the things that are inside we'll be able to take outside. So such as like a hockey table, we could keep that in the van, take that out. We're looking to fold things out and use the space good. So if someone does want someone to talk to privately, we can sit them inside the van and close the doors, and other people can do activities with the kids outside of the van while those people are inside the van talking. And we're looking to get a PlayStation and Xbox put in there, DJ equipment, some sports equipment for kids to do things outside of the van. It's just utilising the space and engaging with the kids.
It sounds amazing. If people are listening to this thinking that sounds just fab, I want to be involved, how can people help?
So I've written a book called One Knife, Many Lives. That's about knife crime and the devastating impact that it causes families, friends and communities. And it also highlights substance misuse and mental health. All the profit from the book that I've wrote, that's going straight into that project. So purchase a book. We've set up a GoFundMe, which you can just add money to any time. We're currently setting up a netball tournament. My friend Joe's doing that. I'm going to do a talent show for young people, and I'm going to do a football tournament for adults, but it's going to be a bit different. So it's going to be based on points. So if you win, you get X amount of points, but you've got to have a mascot for your team, and they've got to dress up like fancy dress. It could be anything you like, and they'll get scored as well.
Oh, I like this.
And also, so I'm thinking of having 30-minute games, but 5 minutes into 5 minutes left of the game, the captain of the winning team will choose a number. Mm-hmm. And if the number's higher, they've got to play the rest of the game with a big massive football, like a beach ball. Or if it's lower, they've got to finish the game off with a tennis ball.
Oh.
So that's even fun.
Anthony, this is brilliant. This sounds absolutely... These are kind of football tournaments I can get involved in.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It sounds like such a brilliant idea, and we'll, keep us posted, because we'd love to see this. It sounds like it's going to be like a TARDIS with all this stuff in it. It's been an absolute pleasure. Lovely to talk to you. Anthony Olasunde there. And if you would like to get a bit more information about his project and his book, etc., give us a call. call 0800 111 49 49. It's from Always an Alternative. It's a not-for-profit